We need to support farmers that are on the land caring for it, and not corporations that are trying to profit and kill the planet. And money now, that's garbage.
When we subsidize and the big get a big amount of money, they can use that cash flow to be there and buy out people, either raising up the rent or outbidding people for land access.
What we find in the database is that essentially most of the money is going to like the largest and wealthiest farms from these different farm subsidy programs.
We need money, okay, so that we can give it to the farmers, so we can support the farmers. And we need to get it from these big corporations and billionaires that have taken all the farmers' land, or a great portion of it. We need donations from them. We don't want to give them favors for them. We think that they should support the families and the human beings that lived for decades and decades on the farms that they now own as part of their investment portfolio.
So factory farms are when there are hundreds or thousands, or even in some cases millions of animals confined in a barn or some other type of facility like a feedlot. We know that over 90% of meat is grown in a factory farm. So if you eat meat, you have very most likely eaten meat from a factory farm.
4 companies control 90% of the grain trade. The cost of your basics keep going up, and your dollar already doesn't go as far as it used to.
Really, what we have to do is put the culture back in agriculture, and that means diversifying it and making it work for people again. If we had more diversified agriculture, we'd have somebody growing near somebody who's buying. The transportation would be less.
So a lot of the exploitation on farm workers comes from many different directions, right? It could look like their low wages. It could look like their lack of worker protection. They're also the lowest paid labor force in our country. They're the ones there firsthand, front lines, experiencing it all.
I really wanted to use my platform and my job as a chef to promote the use of local seasonal ingredients and make sure that people know the farms that they're coming from, so that the farmers can be celebrated, but 2, that people watching my content can go on their own journey and make it seem less intimidating to have their own experience sourcing local food. Farmers are really the stewards of our earth and our land, and seeing them take that care into it is really reaffirming to me that they're doing the right things.
40 years goes by, and the question is not how can we do something differently, it's that we must do something differently for our life and for our hope and for our planet.